Hello everybody, how is it going? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Amps of the Axe FX3. Today we are going to be checking out the Fryette Deliverance 60. This is your first time here, guys, or if you've been here before, you should sub. We do lots of cool stuff here. We do giveaways. I don't want you to miss any of it. Alright, let's dive right into the Fryette Deliverance. So, let me just let you hear it first, okay? I talk entirely too much amount. Let me let you hear it. This is going to be on the less mode. That was in parallel position and then in series. Bridge, now this is going to be series and in parallel again. Alright, that is what we are going to be dealing with today. We have a pretty high gain beast that we are going to be checking out, but we have two different modes of it. We're going to have less and we're going to have more. Basically, that's just corresponding to how much gain you get. It's a very simple. IR we're going to be using is ML Green. It is a Mesa oversized 412 cab with some of the best Celestian greenbacks ever made. Here's the EQ. Actually, yeah, wow, I didn't EQ it on less, I EQ'd it on more. I'll do EQ on and off for that. Let's actually check out the amp, read a little bit about it. So this is the Fryette Deliverance. It's 60 watt with KT88 power tubes. It was made by Stephen Fryette. He is known for making VHT amps, but he actually sold that name in 2009 and just makes stuff under his own name now. I actually hunted for a VHT amp when I was first looking for my first tube amp. I was considering getting it. They're really good amps. They do tend to be a little bit dry, and this is what I was talking about, like the more or less. This is how it looks in the real amp. So you have more, you have less, and on the Axe FX2 we do have an input drive and an output, and we have an input and we have an overdrive, so you can kind of shape it however you want the sound to feel. And we have a couple of amps that are like that. I know for sure the Carawans are definitely. And this is what the back of the amp looks like. It doesn't really have a whole lot of tubes in it. You got those two big KT88s, but it sure does pack a punch for being just 60 watts. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me scroll past. Sorry, I got the camera shaking. Okay, there we go. We're back. Let's actually go in here and let's check it out. Now, Yek said that this amp is popular with metal players. I'm gonna circle back around that on the wrap up, and I'll address that. So, this is what we're working with. This is going to be in the less setting that you heard before. This is my Tom Anderson Cobra. Has an HC1 on the neck and HC3 in your bridge. Those are Anderson pickups. This is the guitar we're going to be using today in standard tuning. I'm going to cycle the different pickup positions. Basically, it's going to be series parallel bridge, parallel middle, and then series parallel for the neck. Let me cycle through them real quick before we get into some. Let's see how this sounds. As you can see, cycling the pickups, when we go to the parallel positions, which those parallel positions aren't as hot, it cleans up really, really well, especially like in the middle position and in the neck area. When we go in the neck parallel, it sounds really good and it cleans up really well. So that's one of the cool things, that if you have a guitar that's set up sort of like this, you can cycle the pickup positions and you can get some different type of tones. This amp is very versatile because, as you can see, it can do like lower gain. It can even do some edge of breakup stuff too. I mean, I have it kind of hot and hard right here. I don't even have to EQ it. It's not very compressed, and it's very open. I mean, I don't think people's first inclination is to run to the Deliverance for that type of sound, but you do have it and you can get it. Using ML Green for this. Am I using ML? Yes, good thing I'm here. I'm using the Zilla oversized 412 with a UK V30 with a SM57 on it for my other IR. I actually have no proximity on here. Let me beef that up a little bit. Give me a little bit of, oh, I didn't do that either. Yes, I forgot to do this in here. I normally do that for everything. Smoothing, proximity and smoothing, this is kind of like, this controls low end and this kind of sort of controls the brightness, kind of. All right, let's dive into this. I did EQ this. Let me play for you a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. That's what it sounds like. I have it dialed in very conservatively right now. I'm gonna push it a little bit more in a second. I just kind of wanted to make a good first impression on you. So, okay, so this is gonna be EQ on and off. Let me turn down the level a little bit, because it's probably gonna get louder. So as you can hear, I do have a scoop in here, as you can see in here. The reason I did that is because watch what happens when you push it. So I'm gonna push it to like right around, like right here. This is when it gets the balls, and this is when it opens up. So this amp can get very, very nasty. I'm gonna push it a little bit more. This is kind of where I had things dialed in before, but it got a little raspy. So as you can hear, it can get really, really nasty. I think this amp, personally for me, it sounds a lot like a Mark. One of the, the Mesa Mark amps. It sounds a lot like that, but it's easier to dial in. I didn't really have to fight it. I didn't have to like scoop a mondo amount of mids out of it. I had to take some, but it's very easy to work with, and it got along great with me. I find that this amp doesn't really excel. I don't know if it's my guitar or what. I find this particular Fryette doesn't excel very well at really, really high gain stuff. I find that when you push it really hard, especially on like a bridge pickup, it starts to kind of get out of control. I find this amp is a better lead amp. Specifically, if you go in your neck pickup, you jack up the overdrive, and you play a lot of single note stuff, I find this is where it excels. Little disclaimer, I am using a boost on here too. I just kind of like what it did to the top end. am still in the neck pickup too, by the way. Yeah, and I got, yeah, so I'm just gonna pull it full of distortion. Alright, those are my sorry ass excuse for lead skills. Now watch if I go back to bridge. Actually doesn't sound half bad, but I know it's raspy. I think you have to kind of, the higher up you go in gain, you gotta lower your bass and your treble. Let's jack little mids in there. You see, now that it's right here, it's behaving nicely. It has a nice, good, tight metal sound to it. It sounds a little bit bloated, but I'm sure I could tweak it and get it super and most excellent. So like I said, I was just messing around with it here. So to wrap up the Fryette Deliverance, I think this is a really cool amp. I do like the less mode of it. When you come into the more and then the distortion, the more section of the distortion, you have to kind of mess with it a little bit. It sounds a little bit like a Mark. And going back to what I said earlier about it being popular with metal players, a lot of VHT and Fryette stuff is popular with metal players, like the Pitbull, for example. It's a VHT amp, I believe. Those are really popular and they're really good. I think this amp, I don't know if it's made particularly for metal, but I find it doesn't excel at it very well, like I alluded to earlier. Like when I'm cranking it right here, like I like the tone that comes out. I just think there's better amps in the Axe effects if you're trying to go for metal. I mean, we have tons of them. I believe this is like a good hard rock amp, like a good blues to hard rock, and just cap it like right at hard rock. Because beyond that, I just don't find it like it excels very well. It's a good lead amp too. I find that you can get some really good lead tones out of it. I really like it on my neck pickup. But that's gonna wrap it up for me and the Fryette Deliverance. Guys, if you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Guys, like I said before, I know this is annoying, but I gotta do it. If you're not subbed, you should. Lots of cool stuff going on here. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.